Video games, a hobby of mine. Some are good, some are great, some are downright abhorrent, and they don't always make sense, but you gotta love them. I'm here to talk about 5 games. 5 games that I don't claim to be the best games I ever played, or even necessarily my favorites, but these are 5 games that I spent more time playing than any other games I can think of. XCOM UFO Defense. Now, this is a strategy game for the PC, and it was also ported to the PlayStation, and that's where I played it on. Now, this is considered a classic game by many people, but I'm really not sure why. It's very complicated. It's a very hard game. I've never beaten it. Never even come close. But basically, aliens are trying to take over the world.
Of course!
And it's up to the Earth government's XCOM squad to catch the bastards and put them in their place. Now, you have to deal with lots of financial aspects and keep countries happy so they'll keep funding you, and it's just a mess. I really hate the resource management aspects of this game, but I really like the combat. It was an interesting turn-based strategy shooter. It was very difficult, and your soldiers leveled up as you killed aliens. Now the problem is, you could have your soldier wearing the best armor, have them be a captain or a colonel or a really high rank, which increases your stats, and then they'll get shot once by an alien and die. And it is extremely frustrating.
There's some grim satisfaction in infuriating you.
So, you get, you invest so much time building up these units, and then they die in one shot near the end of a really difficult mission, and then you're thinking to yourself, oh, do I want to just let this guy be dead, or do I want to redo this fucking mission again so I could, keep this from happening? And, it's a hard choice at times. So, on particularly frustrating missions, I would have like a cannon fodder team that I would send in. Because there's particular types of aliens that can take over your units, use mind control, and have them kill your guys. And they always target your strongest unit. So if you have a commander, and you can only have one of them, they have the best stats, the fucking aliens use their mind control on them every single fucking time, and then they kill all your guys, and there's nothing you can do about it. So this game is very frustrating, but for some reason I kept on playing. And to make matters worse, the PlayStation version takes up a whole memory card. One whole memory card. I don't know any other PlayStation games that take up a whole memory card. If you know any, let me know. I'd be interested. So the graphics are terrible, the music is terrible. It's really hard, and I've never beaten it, but for some reason, I played the shit out of this game. Final Fantasy VII. I spent months absorbed into this game. It's known as the most loved Final Fantasy of them all, but is it the best? No, not really. But then again, no Final Fantasy is the best. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. So what made Final Fantasy VII so good? Well, there's not one thing in particular that I can sort out. Final Fantasy VII seemed to come out in the right time, in the right place. It was the first 3D Final Fantasy, and the graphics were some of the best at the time. The cutscenes, it was like nothing I had seen before, and at the time I remember describing it as playing the best movie you ever saw. Was the story good? No, not really. But the character design was awesome. Creating some of the most recognizable characters ever. Who stuck out the most to me were the villains. Rufus, the Turks, and Sephiroth. They weren't like any RPG villains I had seen up until that time. Instead of some evil Dark Lord or an empire, you had a corporation and its employees. Their motivations may not be so dissimilar from any other villain. I mean, they did want to take over the world.
Of course!
Or in Sephiroth's case, to eat the entire universe.
Game over!
But they look styling while doing it. The ability system in this game was simple and allowed for the freedom to transfer specific powers easily between characters. It was fun to play, and the stories and characters featured more adult themes, though if that was an improvement is a matter of opinion.